Next up, we got Jessica Rose Clark and Stephanie Egger. Now, interesting thing about this, right? Two great grapplers. Egger is that judoka style. We saw her in her debut against, Tracy Cortez. Such a hard fight against a decorated wrestler like that. Came up short. But then we saw her against Shanna Young, where she absolutely dominated. I think that she actually looked very poised on the feet. Shanna Young was going in there looking like the much better striker, but it was very competitive. And we'll get into why I think that her style of striking in that fight might pose problems in this upcoming bout. But the big thing for her was she picked her shots, right? She was not pushing forward very much. She found ways to use Shanna Young's momentum, both, as she's throwing punches, but also coming forward to not only use some strikes to get in close herself, but then lock up the body, find those clinch spots, get the fight to the ground, trips, throws, all of that fun stuff. She was all over and finished in a big way on the ground. I think that there was some controversy there for Shanna. Did not feel like she was out. She complained a little bit, but that was a good stoppage by the referee, in my opinion, based on his perspective. And you think about Jessica Rose Clark, right? This is a fighter that, from an experience perspective, is oceans apart from Stephanie Egger. But she's coming back from ACL surgery, took on Jocelyn Edwards, looked really good in that one. You think about how much of an output she's got. So much clinch work and grappling. And she works really, really hard for the takedowns. Right now you can see that in that fight, she had about 11 minutes and 40 seconds of control time. And to me, when you average that over a 3-round fight, that is borderline domination, right? So in that case, you're looking now at two fighters who are looking for that exact same game plan. And the way I see it is, think about both of their averages, all about 2 takedowns for 15 minutes for Stephanie Egger and 1.68 for Jessica Rose Clark. So for me, it's like you have the push pace fighter in Jessica Rose Clark, but then you have the defensive countering style in Stephanie Egger. But both of them have the exact same goal, which is to try and get this fight in close, grapple, push it up against the fence, make it very dirty, look for those sweeps and takedowns, and then start to do some work on the ground, whether it's ground and pound, looking for submissions. That's where these girls want to take the fight. Now, you talk about both of them in that striking realm, right? Jessica Rose Clark, plenty of experience, but that has that double Penny Kanzad loss. So you think about why that was, such a big part of her career, and I think it comes down to that striking game. Penny's looked really good out there against a lot of top competition on the feet, so there is something to be said there. But this is where I give the edge to Jessica Rose Clark. You watch both these fighters fight, even if they're both looking for the same outcome, the way Jessica Rose Clark is willing to go about it is so much more violent. It is so much more pace heavy. It is a lot more damaging. I think that Stephanie Egger is looking for you to make a move where she can actually pinpoint an area where she can get this fight to an area where she wants it, whereas Jessica Rose Clark does not care. She's going to push forward. She's going to use her striking. She's going to land. She lands well, and then she tries to get the fight exactly where she needs it, which is in close, up against her chest, and finds ways to dominate. So for me, the pace, the volume in striking, all of that just lands so much in Jessica Rose Clark's corner that even a part of me is wondering, is this a relative mismatch when you get two fighters that are so good in one style, but then you have that athlete style, the pace, the aggression, the confidence. That's where I'm seeing a huge, benefit and advantage for Jessica Rose Clark. So I do have Jessica winning this fight. I'm going to be able to make a pick right now on that. I think that defensive approach that we saw from Egger in her last fight is potentially going to play against her a little bit, because Clark does not have to worry about the takedowns as much as Shanna Young did. So let's go with Clark as a -170 favorite. I really like that line. She's coming off a win against Jocelyn Edwards after a big surgery, so I think there's a lot to be said. Wow, look at me go. -200 opener for Jessica, but now she's about a -180 to a -190 favorite against Stephanie. Our -170 line is looking pretty good based on current line movement. And Edgar goes from a +170 to now about a +150 underdog. So big movement there in the line for obvious reasons, but there's a chance that we see it move even a little bit more closer. But I really like Jessica Rose Clark, and if I were you and you like her too, that's a great line to jump at.